Hello children, today I am present here with the fourth chapter of business studies, and that is planning. It is one of the very important chapter of business studies. Now if we talk about management, planning is the first function of management. It is also known as the primary function of management or the base function of management. The reason is that without planning no other function of management can be executed. So let us understand what is the meaning of planning and how it is important for a business organization along with the types of plan. So let us start. So here the meaning of planning is given. It means setting objective and targets and formulating an action plan to achieve them. Every organization, they used to set some objectives to be achieved, and without having a good plan that objective can never be achieved. So planning is primarily done in order to achieve the set objective, or we can define it as it refers to deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, and by whom it should be done. So all these questions are answered in planning. It bridges the gap between where we are standing today and where we want to reach. And planning is always done for the future. It is a futuristic function. And already I told you it is the base, or we can say the primary function of management, because without planning no other functions of management can be executed. So let us discuss about the steps involved in the planning process, because planning is not a one-time activity, it is a process, and also a lengthy process, time-consuming process. So let us see what are the various steps involved in planning process. Here through one diagram we will see, then in detail we will learn these steps in the planning process. The first step in planning process is setting up of the objective or the organizational objective. Second step is developing premises or the planning premises. Third step in planning is identifying the alternative course of action. Fourth step in planning is evaluating the various alternative course of action, and then to select the best alternative among the given alternatives. Then the next step in planning process is formulating derivative plans, which means some of the supportive or the supporting plans are also formed. And finally the plans are to be implemented and follow-up action has to be taken. Now let us learn these steps in detail. So the first step in planning process is setting organizational objectives. So we have already discussed that planning is primarily done to achieve some organizational objective. So whenever the planning function starts, first of all a particular objective or the target which is to be achieved is fixed by the management, and all the activities are directed towards the achievement of that specific objective. Second step is developing planning premises. So here let me tell you, premises means future assumptions, or we can say some predictions and assumptions about the future, because without scanning the future or without knowing about the future, knowing means predicting the future, we cannot carry on the planning process. So some assumptions about the future are also to be made by the management. The third step is identifying alternative course of action. Now in order to achieve a particular objective, there can be multiple ways, or we can say there can be various alternatives in order to achieve a particular objective. So all those objectives are to be listed by the management, and they have to look at the various what we can say the merits and demerits of those various alternatives. So in this particular step the manager will just list down the various alternative course of action. Now after listing the various alternative course of action, the managers, they start evaluating each and every alternative one by one. Evaluation means to find out the positive and the negative aspect of each alternative. And after going through this merits and demerits of each and every alternative, one best alternative is selected by the management. Sometimes instead of selecting one best alternative, a combination of alternatives can also be selected by the management. Next step it is formulating derivative plans. Now, in order to support the main plan, some of the sub plans are also framed by the management. Now, when these alternatives, a particular alternative is being selected, now this alternative has to be implemented, or it has to be informed to the employees or the people, those who have to actually work on this plan. So that is the last step, implementation and follow up of the plan. So these are actually two different steps I have merged here together. Implementing the plans means to inform the plan to the employees, or to make them understand that what is the plan of the organization to achieve the objective. And the last step is follow up action. It is the responsibility of a manager to follow up the plan. So follow up means to look whether the plan is being followed in the exact manner as it is implemented. Also, the management has to look that whether some changes are taking place in the external environment or not, and accordingly he has to modify the plan. So that is the meaning of follow up. So these are the various steps involved in the planning process. Now let us discuss about some of the important features of planning. So here the list of various features are given. Now let us discuss them one by one. So first important feature of planning is that it focuses on objective. So we all know that the plans are made primarily to achieve this objective. So the focus or the attention of every planning is to achieve the objective. Second, it is futuristic. Plans are always done for the future. Planning is never done for the past or for the present. It is based on forecasting the future events and conditions. Next feature is planning is pervasive. Pervasive means which is required everywhere. Planning is not only required in profit making organization, but it is required in all the types of organizations. The organizations who set up certain objective and want to accomplish that objective. So planning is required everywhere. Next, planning involves choice making and decision making. So in the process of planning, we have seen that a list of alternatives are being noted down by the manager, and after evaluating the merits and demerits of those alternatives, the management or the manager, they have to choose one perfect alternative for their organization to achieve the objective. So planning involves choice making and decision making. Now planning is a continuous process. Now students, we all know that business environment is very dynamic. It keeps on changing. So many changes are taking place in the different environments. It may be economic environment, may be political environment, social environment, technological environment, legal environment. So some or the other changes are taking place in this environment. So managers, they have to look into their planning continuously. Means they have to modify their plan from time to time to match with the external environment. That is one of the step in the process of planning. The last step, if you remember, follow up. Follow up means the manager has to bring changes in the plan according to the changes taking place in the external environment. Now students, next feature of planning is that planning is a mental exercise. Planning is not a simple job. It requires a lot of thinking. That is why the organization has to hire the intellectual people, or we can see the experts or the specialized people, in order to carry on the planning process, because they have to make certain assumptions about the future. they have to list the various alternatives. From the given alternatives, they have to select the best alternative. So it is not a easy job. It is a time taking process. Also it requires a lot of intellect. Now let us talk about some of the importance of planning. So here the list of various importance is given. Now let us discuss these points one by one. Planning provides a direction. You just assume if there is no planning, we will not be able to know which way to go, where to go, how to go. So planning provides direction. It allows or makes all the employees to work in a particular direction, and that direction is the achievement of organizational goal. Without planning, it will be like moving blindly in any direction. So planning provides direction. Next, it reduces the risk of uncertainty. Students, we know that planning is always based on future predictions and assumptions. So when the managers or the experts, they do the forecasting of the future or make some predictions and assumptions about the future, they come to know about that what uncertainties or risk they are going, or the threats they are going to face in the coming future. So the management is ready to overcome those risks and uncertainties. Then planning facilitates decision making. In the process of planning, number of alternatives are being evaluated, and from those given alternatives, the best alternative is chosen by the management. So planning helps in decision making. Planning reduces overlapping and the wasteful activities, because in planning it is made very clear what is to be done and by whom it has to be done. So every employee in the organization is very clear about what work they have to perform. So there is neither overlapping of the activities nor there is any wasteful activities performed in the organization. Next, planning promotes innovative ideas. So we know that planning, it is an intellectual process, and while doing the planning, the experts, they have to do lot of thinking, or we can say a higher level of thinking. So when higher level of thinking is done, definitely some innovative ideas will come into the minds of the planner or the managers. That is why we see that there is innovation in every field. It is all because of planning. Planning establishes standard for controlling. So students, controlling is the last function in the process of management. Last function in the process of management. Now, if there is no planning, controlling can never be exercised in the organization. So planning sets the standard or the yardstick for controlling. One example I will give you. Now suppose in planning it is decided that 10,000 units are to be produced per month. So controlling will see whether those 10,000 units are being produced per month or not. So it shows that planning acts as a base or the standard for controlling. Now, though planning is a very important function of management, but there are some limitations of planning also. These can be categorized as internal limitations and external limitations. So let us discuss about these internal as well as some of the external limitations or planning. Limitations means where the planning may fail. Planning leads to rigidity. So many times it happens in the organization when these plans are made once, all the employees, they just follow up the plan rigidly without making any changes in those plans. So that is why it is written, once a well defined plan is made, managers may not be in a position to change it. Second thing, planning reduces creativity. Now many times, as we have discussed, that when one's plans are framed, all the employees, they start following those plans blindly without thinking whether these plans will give them the positive result or not, because it is already assumed that these plans are the best and they are going to give the best result to the organization. So the people in the organization, they stop thinking, and that we call reduces creativity. Next thing, planning is a time consuming process. Now planning is not a one day job, it is not done in fortnight, it requires a lot of time, because so many experts are called, then future assumptions and predictions are done. There are 5 dimensions of business environment: economic environment, social environment, political, legal, and technological. All these environment are also scanned, so lot of information is collected before framing a good plan. That is why planning is a time consuming process. Planning involves huge cost. Now so many experts are being called in order to get ready a good plan for the organization. So lot of expense the organization has to bear in the form of fees paid to those experts. Along with this, expenses are there on the board's meeting, discussion with the professional experts, and so many preliminary investigation are also done. In that also lot of money is spent by the organization. So it is a what we can say, expensive process. Planning does not guarantee success. Yes, we know that planning, they are done for the future, and we all know that the future is uncertain. Whatever predictions and assumptions are made by the future, they will be right or they will be correct in the future also, that no one can say. That is why many times a very good plan also collapses, they fail. So we can say planning does not guarantee success. And the next point, it is planning may not work in dynamic environment. If the business environment keeps on changing constantly, in such case the planning will fail. Now some of the external limitations which are beyond the control of an organization. So some natural calamities like flood, earthquake, famine, etc. That can never be controlled by the organization, and then that can lead to the failure of plan. Then some technological changes also take place. They reduce the effectiveness of planning, because when some new technology is introduced, then organization has to face number of problems, because they have to upgrade their technology, and that raises the cost of production also. And then next thing, then they sometimes lose the competition also in the market due to use of outdated technology, because every time the technology is being upgraded, and it is not possible for every firm to adopt the latest technology. Now some government policies also change, taxation policy also change, rate of interest, they also create problem to the organization, and which can lead to the failure of the plan. Strategies of the competitors, that is also beyond the control of an organization. Many times the competitors may come up with some very innovative product which this firm may not be able to produce, and they will lose the customers for their product. Then change in taste and fashion of the consumers, it also affects a lot to the organization. Whatever good plan we make, but if we ignore the taste and preference of the consumers, our product also may not be accepted by the consumers. Now let us discuss about the types of plan. Basically we divide the plans in 2 categories: standing plan or the single use plan. So standing plans are those plans which are formulated once, made once, and they are used repeatedly. So here are some of the plans which we call them as the repeatedly used plans. They are objectives, strategies, policies, procedure, methods, and rule. Next, it is single use plan or the special plan. These plans are formulated to deal a particular situation only. As that situation is dealt with, these plans also come to an end. So the 2 examples of such plan are budget and program. Now let us So there are 8 types of plan. Let us discuss these plans one by one. First, it is objective. Objective refers to the plan towards which all the activities of organization is directed. Means whatever means the organization has, they are directed towards the achievement of that particular objective. That is why it is mentioned here, objectives are defined as ends which the management seeks to achieve within a given period of time. So one very important point you have to keep in mind here, that objectives are always expressed in numerical terms. Like one example I will give you, to increase the sales by 2% in next to 3 months. So here it is very specifically mentioned in numerical terms that how much sale has to be increased and in what time period. So objectives are time bound. Next type of plan, it is policy. Policy refers to organization's own way to handle a specific situation or to overcome a particular problem, or we can say to deal with a particular problem. So policy is general which brings uniformity in decision making for achievement of some predetermined objective. Now strategy, it is a comprehensive plan. Generally it is done by the organizations to overcome their competitors. Now some of the important dimensions of strategies, let me tell you. Strategies, they determine the long term objective of the organization, or it can be adopting a particular course of action to achieve the objective. Then allocating resources necessary to achieve the objective. So these are or one very simple example of this strategic decision, let me tell you. Seek to acquire top position in a particular line of business, or we can say combine new line of activities with the existing business. So all these things are included in the strategy, a type of plan. Procedure, already we know, it means the steps involved in carrying on a particular job. So procedure consists of sequentials to carry off activity within policy work. Next, it is rule. It defines what is to be done and what is not to be done in the organization, what actions are to be performed and which actions are prohibited in the organization. So rules are very important to maintain discipline in the organization. Next, it is method. It refers to one standard way of performing the job. So method, whichever is selected in order to carry on or to perform a particular activity, should be the best one, and it should be cost effective as well. It should be easily used by the employees in the organization. Also, it is more productive for the organization. Such a method should be adopted in the organization. Next, it is budget. Budget, actually we can say these are the statements which are expressed in numerical terms. So budget is a plan which states expected result of a given future period in numerical terms. Now generally cash budget is, different types of budgets are framed, but we give more focus to the cash budget. Now in an organization there can be different types of departments. Let us take the example of a production department. So in order to carry on the future activities, the production department will require some amount of fund. So what will be that expected amount of expenditure of production department in monetary terms? That we can call it as a budget. And the last type of plan is program. Program, actually it is a combination of some of the plans together. That is why it is a detailed statement about project which outlines some of the important plans like objectives, policies, procedures, rules, tasks, resources required to implement any course of action. So that is called a program. So this is all we are to discuss in this chapter, planning. So I hope you would have understood the chapter very clearly. Then in order to overcome your further doubts, you take this assignment, and after getting the answers to this assignment, I hope you will be more clear with the chapter. So let me read out the questions for you. The first question is, what is planning? Explain any 4 features of planning. Question number 2, explain any 4 importance of planning. Third question, explain the steps involved in the process of planning. Question number 4, explain any 4 limitations of planning. And question number 5, write any 4 point of difference between the following. First, it is difference between policy and procedure. Second, difference between objective and strategy. And the third, standing plans and single use plans. So dear students, complete the given assignment within the time. Also go through the textbook to make the concept more clear. Again we will meet with a new presentation on a new topic. Till then, thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.